Yo, 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 it's ODB, our lifestyle podcast. Damn, it feels like it's been a minute. And it has. I just looked today and I was like, why did I go off on a tangent and stop doing these videos? I have no idea. I guess just trying to balance everything in life. You know how that goes. So we're going to dive in here to MiniTruckin magazine, issue number 42. It's a classic. And I want to thank LMC from the Lowest Common Denominator podcast, LCD, for sending me this Drop Jaw Mag premiere issue, volume 1, number 1. Of course, I'll go through that at some point. But if you haven't, check out LCD podcast. Just type in LCD. You'll love what they're doing. We recently had LMC on the show. So, this is definitely a gem. This is issue 42, as I mentioned, June 95. Art of Noize. It's the one cover that the club, it's hard to, even for me to fathom this, one cover that they had over the course of MiniTruckin magazine. However, that's not to take anything away from Art of Noize. A lot of respect for that club. I have a lot of respect for the club, but there's also just a ton of badass vehicles. It just kind of goes to show you that, you know, even though the magazine was around a long time, not everyone could be featured. So this, we'll kind of dive in here. A couple things. One, you got the model on the front. Cool t-shirt. I've never seen that one before. You got a tie-in here with Sean Carlson, rest in peace. And we'll kind of jump in here. Steve Stillwell is still the editor. And just a lot to talk about with this one. I think there's 8 features. If you haven't, check out our lifestyle podcast, OLP. We just dropped our new episode, and it was a fun one. Ruben joined us as well as Frank. I call him Iceman. Flip your lid. So kind of talking about sunroofs. Pretty cool old school MiniTruckin artwork there. The surfboard in the back. I hope you guys are doing well. As of the recording of this, it is December 24th, 2021, and I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. How ironic is this? I was looking at hashtags earlier, and Jason Redden from Low Yodas had posted a very similar Toyota to this. It might have actually been this truck. We'll have to see, but he's got a cool page. Check it out. So I like how the table of contents, also known as TOC, how it's laid out here. So you have the background photo from the cover, of course, features and tech events, and then the cover. You can see this one's kind of expansive here in terms of the amount of information that it provided. And you see there Andrew Spencer's Isuzu Space Cab. Photo credits Courtney Halowell. Rest in peace. But this is kind of, you know, to me, kind of the heyday of MiniTruckin. There's a lot of good issues in the mid-90s. And, arguably some of my favorite issues of all time. So we'll go through here. You got Drop Top. Solstice did the write-up and the photos. Just kind of a classic stance. Of course, body drops are starting to, of course, be featured and show up at shows, but you know, this is kind of a timeless look. Although maybe in the 2000s this kind of look maybe went away, but there's no doubt about it. You rock something like this at a show, you're good to go. I've been eyeing a mini truck locally, and I'm excited maybe for what has to come in the future, but we'll see. So again, killer colors here, awesome wheels. One to show on the tag. And you can see here, this is Scott Sally's 87 dime topless. Of course, you got the antenna Frenched in. Again, hope everyone's doing well. I'm super excited to announce that we did bust through 1,000 subscribers. So we certainly appreciate everyone that has clicked subscribe. It means a lot to us. We've got so much more to cover on the podcast and here. We're definitely going to be ramping up a lot of content for next year. and got a lot of shows in the works. Want to give a huge shout out to Johnny Garage Johnson. Thank you so much for all the support. I love your YouTube channel. Again, it is Christmas time, so, spend the time with the fam. But, when you get a couple free moments, check out all the other videos and episodes of OLP. And make sure you give a thumbs up. And if you're on an iPhone or iOS device, like an iPad, please leave a rating for OLP Podcast. You can just tap the 5 stars, and it really helps us out. You can also write a review if you want to go a step further. So Ask K-Daddy. So pretty cool stuff. We've had Kyle on the podcast. I know Josh Ellis, our homie, he keeps in touch with Kyle a good amount. And we certainly appreciate Kyle coming on in the past. So the truck that Jason shared, which was pretty cool, it was basically the same look of this truck. Obviously, it's not the same truck. This is kind of pro street here with the rear tire, you can see. But it was pretty awesome. It looked like ballistic, and he hashtagged it ballistic mini truck, which I think I started using that hashtag to kind of curate Pat Nichols' truck. But that's the first thing that came to mind. I actually literally saw that earlier today. Also here, you got 95 Tacoma, California Speedster. It was going to be named. Steve Stanford, you can kind of see there the signature, that famous signature there. And rest in peace, Sean Carlson. He did the photography here and kind of commissioned, if I understand correctly, this rendering. And this was going to be a build that he was going to do. Now, we've had Trevor on, and much love to the Carlson family, big supporters of OLP, and we certainly wish them the best over the holidays. They're great people. Ground control tech article. These are always fun to look at, these old ads. I'm sure many of us spent many days circling, especially around the holidays, kind of figuring out if we had a little bit of money, maybe the parents were going to buy you something. We were, of course, always plotting and planning as a mini trucker what our next moves were, what our next purchases were. So, MiniTruckin Diary continues. Wyatt Strange. See Delmar right here. These are definitely fun to read. And what's cool is, we talked about recently the book, Tall Guy from Local Finesse. His inspiration came from the pages here of MiniTruckin magazine. You see, of course, the famous windshield decal there. Descended, I think, was the plate on that one. You see the windshield banner there. Here's the Art of Noize cover truck. I've posted video of this truck in the past. I think it was just a little bit of video that you could see of it. So go back through our social media. You can click on kind of the different media at the top. I think you can sort it by videos depending on the little icons on Instagram. But it's pretty cool. If you have any old magazines you want to donate to the cause, including Sport Truck, please hit me up. I have been building the collection of Sport Truck magazines, spending way too much money on some of these, but I got to thank Tony Rispoli, my brother, also a couple of the guys, Bow to NC on Instagram. Big ups to the homie. He hooked me up major with a bunch of magazines, and a few of those I really needed. There were some street trucks as well. So Randy, NC Florida, Bow to NC, of course, on Instagram. He was the one that owned Tuck Lugs up until April of this year when we were at Mini Nats. Classic look here. Now, I am on vacation today, or I'm on holiday today. So this is a little bit earlier in the day. I'm not using the light. I know some of you guys have commented before. You do like the use of the light. So I'm going to continue doing that when it's a little bit darker out. I think we just had the winter solstice, the longest day based upon the axis. And that means we're headed towards spring. I know most of you guys are just kind of settling in for the winter. But we're excited for spring here already in Florida. It's 77 degrees today. Went to Busch Gardens, and it's nice out. Blueprint for Success. Killer feature. Love the tilt bed on this, of course. Courtney did a great job. Kind of indoor shoot. Love kind of that basic old school, what we call now old school stereo. You got the rag top. You also have the tilt bed. And you see that graphic kind of in there. Was embossed. Pretty cool stuff. Killer. Got the bucket seats. And then here it talks about Cox constructed the custom bed cover for Spencer's Mini. Features a matching yellow vinyl stretched. So yeah, I think it was basically raised. But something different, definitely, for that era. And, man, I can't get enough of just tweed. I've got a bunch of gray tweed and some blue. I had purchased a bunch of it whenever I had the original dash in my S10 covered. And I've kept it all these years. And I hate that I got rid of that dash many years ago when I decided to kind of go full tilt on the build. What that meant was I tried selling that dash for a while, and it was wrapped so nicely by a local guy. Had a really nice stitching in it, really different than any other 94 S10 dash I had seen on how he covered it. And man, that stuff never raised at all, that tweed. And found a guy many years ago when the truck went over to Jimmy's, finally found somebody, I think up in Ocala, bought it. He came down and he had like a Pro Street S10 that needed a dash. But anyways, I say all that because the tweed that was left over from that, I still have it, and I'm hoping I'm going to use it here on a future project. So Nightmare by Sean Carlson, of course. Solstice shot it. And what's cool here is you can see Pearl City, Hawaii. 91 Mazda Cab Plus. This is that Hawaii style that I talk about. I mentioned it a couple times, but I think there's an official term for it. And what's awesome is as soon as you see one of these trucks, the colors, oftentimes the wire wheels, it just hits you. I mean, you just know it's from Hawaii, or it's that Hawaii style. And I always thought that was pretty cool. I recently shared a very rare image from a Hawaii produced magazine. And I shared that on Instagram, that batched over to Facebook. And I always thought that was pretty cool. You know, being able to find these old magazines. Many of us have never even seen this stuff. There's the famous truck. That's what Mike needs to do to his truck. Tilt the bed. Take out the back cab of the wall. Smooth the back of his bed. Dude, do the doors like this, man. Then I think he needs to do the hood, do a side tilt deal, but have it where it could go either way, hinge it on both sides. I mean, I'm just saying. But this, if I remember correctly, was a Bill Cox show, and I'm looking here, and it is. And the reason why I say that is I believe that's the man, the myth, the legend right there. But obviously a Florida show. Pretty cool stuff. I wonder if this is Chuck's truck. I believe it is. I've mentioned this before. Chuck lives out in Wesley Chapel, Zephyr Hills area. And if I understand correctly, he had that truck, or one very similar to it, and he sold it maybe about 10 years ago, and that thing was a time capsule. And just to think that if he would have kept it a little bit longer, the stuff has come really full circle. You kind of see there. Isuzus were definitely huge in Florida. We recently went over Was it the January 95 that had the real, I said the real Matt Smith sitting on the cover with Bob and Figment, the two trucks on the cover. Or is it Bob or Seth? I always say Bob. Bob or Seth. I get that one mixed up. Went through this issue recently. That one was one that Randy hooked me up with, Bow to NC on Instagram. That was a hard one for me to find for some reason. Look, little nod to Hammered Weekend Wear. Of course, they're HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. No E there. Got some old school. Again, I hope you guys enjoy Christmas with the fam. I appreciate everyone watching these videos all the way through. It helps us out. Now that we're at 1,000 subscribers, we need to get to like 4,000 minutes, I think, watched in a month. So anything you can do, like if you're at work and, you know, you can access the internet, you know, pull up another browser, hit play on some of these videos. If you're trucking down the road, pull it up and let it stream. Paul Dudley, Culpeper, VA, 87 Mazda B2200, shot by Courtney Halowell, rest in peace. Classic paint, topper, wheels. Small little story. Oh, look at those, playa. Recently, I was coming home, actually within an hour ago, I was coming home from Busch Gardens, and there's this truck that I've been wanting to take a photo of. It's at a local car lot in Lutz. Ironically enough, it's a red body-dropped Ford Ranger that's been sitting there. TV dough. And get this, it's at the same place where I bought my 94 S10 back in August of 97. It's the same exact place. Now, granted, it's not the same business, but it is the same piece of property that's long been tied to cars, and I think for a while they were even doing Prius stuff. But it's definitely like a car lot. I need to do a video there one day. What's in the CD changer? These are always awesome. I remember when bootlegs and B-sides came out. Of course, Ice Cube kind of used to always drop around November each year, some sort of album. Whether it be the album, you know, compilation where he was featured on different stuff, or bootlegs and B-sides, or his just regular albums. I was always looking forward to that fourth quarter, you know, whoever was going to drop to kind of get some sales in before the end of the year. Check this thing out. Burl Smith, 82 dime. I don't know that this is a style that would have stayed in, but I can tell you this. I bet you if this was at a show, it would tear up the circuit. Look at all the detail on it. Maybe not my style, but although I say that, it doesn't mean that I'm taking anything away from it. I still think it's awesome. Something like George Barris would do, but of course a lot of detail on this thing. This is a thick page. I'm like, wait, that's it. AIM Industries, win that truck. And then Mothers, they've been around forever. Speaking of Mothers, I wanted to ask you guys, I guess the last comment I'll have before I say again, Merry Christmas. Mothers has been around forever, and I constantly see different advertisements for detailing products on Instagram. And I click at the comments, and I see some people say it's the best ever. Not Mothers, I'm saying just in general. But then I hear other people say it's garbage, it doesn't work as advertised, whatever. Here's my question to you. What detailing products do you use? I know there's some people that are a fiend for one type. I hear other people say it's all the same shit. It's all bottled differently. I don't know. So let me know what you guys use. I'm curious. Mothers, to me, has been around a long time, so I've been using their stuff lately. But I'm very curious. In closing, we're going to keep doing these. As we get into the new year, we're going to ramp up a lot of content here. We've got some stuff in the works for the podcast and more. We thank each and every one of you for all the support over the 6.5-ish years of us posting content on social media, which is a daily occurrence. And, oh, by the way, doing these videos and a weekly podcast for 3 straight years every Friday. It's all free. OLP, you know us. So thank you guys so much. Merry Christmas. Stay on the rise. And don't forget, check out LMC over on LCD Podcast. Thank you guys so much thank you, LMC, for sending this over. We got you. Peace.